Hello everybody, this is Oski, and we're back with another Fortnite video. Fortnite just dropped a new update. They got a little bit of content out there finally after a long wait because Epic was obviously on break. So let's do a little quick recap on what was new with this update before we get into the main topic of today's video. So stick around for that. But basically we got a new Blitz Week, which we kind of all knew was coming. It's called Boon Bonanza. So there's a bunch of different new boons. That's kind of like the draw for this Blitz Week. I don't really play much Blitz, but I'm happy to sit there updating it, and I hope it can keep a strong player base of mobile players to bring more people to the game. We also have some exciting cosmetic news in terms of collaborations. We're going to be getting some new Nike skins, which to me is not exciting because we get way too many of them. But I mean, hey, if it's a good skin, it's a good skin. I just think we should let some other collaborations that I'm actually excited for happen. And speaking of other collaborations I'm excited for, Fantastic Four are going to be finally getting skins in the game after, being teased during the Absolute Doom season by having their corpses be in the game, which is really interesting. Yeah, they didn't add them then, but it makes sense that they're waiting for this movie to drop because they probably knew that Marvel Studios was dropping something like this. I can't remember if it was confirmed back then or not, but anyway. So I hope that they're, MCU versions and have likeness to their actors. But if they are comic book / pen and ink, I really just hope that there's an option to turn off the pen and ink style and make it more of like a 3D regular, non-cel shaded type render, like a regular Fortnite skin, because I'm sick of us not having that option. It's really no excuse for that. It's just so they can make more money and sell it differently in the future, which I think is really scummy. But then we're also going to be getting a One Punch Man skin, which is an anime if you guys don't know. It's a pretty good anime. I've seen the first season, and it was pretty funny. Yeah, I think the emotes for that should be probably really good because it's really goofy. And then we also might be getting a potentially free Batmobile as a car we can use. It's been in Rocket Racing for a while, and there was some leaks about a free vehicle that had it said built for battle, driven by justice or something like that, which gives me Batman vibes, of course, because he's like, justice. But it also could be like the Fantastic car, which might make more sense considering we're getting those skins. There's no rumors about any more Batman skins, but we don't really know yet. There hasn't been any confirmation on that, so just wait and see. And then in terms of gameplay, we got the Close Encounters LTM back, which is pretty fun. It is zero build, and it also has some glitches right now, I believe. So hopefully they get that figured out. And then we also, in Battle Royale, got the Fortress of Solitude, which unfortunately is just a landmark, not an actual POI. So it doesn't really add much. But yeah, other than that, we of course had some new cosmetics. I'll show some of the ones I liked on screen. But, pretty low-key update, not really that much. They did buff the Superman mythic, which I am really happy about. Hopefully I can get it now and actually feel powerful with it. I have fought a Superman, and it wasn't too bad. But anyway, that was it for this update. So now let's get into the topic of today's video. I kind of want to talk about Chapter 6, Season 3, because there is a lot to talk about here. I think it's a really great season. I think it's off to such a good, I shouldn't say off to a good start because it's kind of like the end of the season, but it's been really fun so far. I've played so much this season, probably a little bit less than Lawless or Hunters, but that's just because I was traveling and stuff. But I do have some slight problems with the season, and I'm going to kind of illustrate those here with my opinions here. So my first problem I have is that this season doesn't really have a lot of range because the DMR absolutely sucks, at least in my opinion. And they vaulted the Hollow Twister, which was like a really good ranged AR because it has a scope. That's kind of left us with just the Fury Assault Rifle, which is not meant for anything more than 25 to 30 meters, to be honest. And then the new Spire Rifle, which is really good. And you can definitely shoot people far away. You just kind of have to tap fire it or just get lucky with bullet spray, which is good because it does have 50 bullets. So usually you're going to kill them, but the amount of shots I'd just be firing out there in the dark trying to shoot somebody that's far away, and just even with Spire, it's so hard to hit them because you don't have a single good range gun this season. The DMR has an insane bullet drop, and it's just not fast firing enough to be good. It's just kind of terrible in my opinion. So yeah, I think that's one thing they could have done is maybe had a sniper in this season. Heck, I think they should have brought back the Reaper sniper rifle. I think that would fit nicely within this meta that sniper rifle is so goated. Obviously, they need to modify it to work without attachments, but I don't really think that would be that hard, to be honest. You just give it, like, triangle sight. You give it one of the random stocks, one of the random grips, to make it like a base version and just have that be in the loot pool. I think that's a great idea. I don't know why they haven't done that with more attachment weapons, because you can just choose one of the attachments and put that in the loot pool, But yeah, I think a sniper would really fix this season, and I just miss the Reaper. And also, since a lot of this map is like mountainous, there is a real need for something like this. Like, there's so many mountains on this map, so you're often shooting at people like down below you or shooting at somebody up on the mountain, and you really can't do anything, especially when they're up on the mountain and you're down below, because there's no range. You can't snipe them in the head for peeking for too long. You kind of just have to hide from their shots, which I think is stupid. And another problem I have is I think cars are a real huge annoyance, and they have been. I really think there should be either EMPs in the game, but have them be super rare, or create some new item to disable cars, because the amount of movement items, like with the surf cube, the cape, and the gauntlets, plus the shockwaves, occasionally, obviously they don't drop in regular loot, and like the cars, there's just so many different ways to like get around the map. Like the cars just have too much health, and all the other different movement items, people just run away so much. It's really annoying to chase after people 24/7 in a game. So I think there needs to be EMPs, like I said. I don't think they should be super common, because I don't really like the idea. I don't like either extreme. I don't like everybody being in cars driving around with no way to stop them, but I also don't like the extreme of you can never get in a car without getting EMP'd. So I think you got to find a balance between that, just so that it's not so frequent that people are able to run away. And also, the last thing that I would change about the season, the last thing I have a problem with, is that the Ascended Morgan Mist gauntlets are kind of broken. I think they're super good and almost like uncounterable if you run into somebody with two, or like a team of two and both have them. Like, I was playing with my girlfriend the other day. We ran into a team of two that both had the combo with the cape and the gauntlets, and they just shredded us. We couldn't even do anything, because they cover so much area, and they do a lot of damage, and they also obscure your screen. So if you're trying to counter that with a nice shotgun shot and then some SMG spray or something like that, you can't really see where they are, so you can't hit that shot. And I think it's a really good item. I really like that they combine into one, but you get absolutely disintegrated. Like, they aren't very easy to outdamage, and I just think they should be nerfed by like 5 to 8%, drop their damage just a little bit. Maybe it's just a skill issue, but I don't really see anybody else complaining about it. But I personally think they're a bit too broken. I still have a lot of fun using them, but man, when I come against them, 8 times out of 10 I die, which sucks. And then, yeah, other than that, that's kind of all the problems I have with this season. I think it's a really great season overall. You got a great loot pool. I love the movement and how unique it is. Like I said, I do like the Ascended gauntlets and cape. I think that's a really cool, unique idea for a weapon, and you really feel super this season. So glad that they had the surf cube. I think that's a great movement as well. It feels really cool to use, really unique. And then the kill switch revolvers are still goated. They always have been. And I actually really, really like the Spire assault rifle. It's really grown on me. Just having that many bullets really helps to take down those cars easier. So that's like kind of like the one saving grace against cars, is the Spire having so many bullets and doing a lot of damage. But yeah, that was my thoughts on this season so far, and a little bit of an update on what's new from this new update. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure to leave a like, consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys next time. It's been Oski. Peace out.